What's up, you guys? It's been a year and a half. It's been a crazy year and a half since I recorded a podcast episode. The Till You Collapse Podcast. I've had that podcast for 5, 6, 7 years, hundreds of episodes. At a peak, I was even recording a couple episodes per week. There's been so many changes in life, as expected. Businesses, personally, so much shit. I'm excited to be back, though, and I'm going to commit to you guys. I'm going to shoot for at least an episode a week. One episode a week. I think we can do that. I have a lot to talk about. I want to inspire. I want to motivate. I want to challenge you guys through this podcast. And I got Kyle here. Kyle's back. Kyle's one of the original videographers, photographers, marketing guru that I had with TYC. How many years ago, Kyle?
Dude, we've known each other for 7 years now.
7 years. And when this guy came here, he was like, "What is a camera?" And funny enough, I just taught him about a camera right now.
I can't deny
I can't deny it. Yeah, he's like, this freaking Persian. This Persian, bro. Hey, I got some tricks up my sleeve. But I missed you guys. Hopefully everyone's doing good. I appreciate everyone that supported the podcast. But I'm going to be bringing a lot of value because I want you guys to be your best physically, mentally, financially, spiritually. And anything I can help, I'm going to bring my experiences, my losses, my pain, my wins, everything I'm going to share with you guys. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to upload this episode. I don't know what number it is, but man, we're going back. We're going to do a little different, a different, what's the word I'm looking for, Kyle? Different, not theme, but format. Different format. Kyle has some questions for me. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to bring guests on. I'm going to start bringing guests on. I'm going to do my individual podcast where I spit fire. We're going to do some short podcasts, just 5 minutes of fucking fire up your ass to light you up and listen to before you work out. I'm going to do episodes like that. Me just yelling straight fire into the mic. We're going to do longer episodes. We're going to post it all on YouTube like we used to. But I'm going to have some guests. That's a big thing. I already have some lined up I've been thinking about. And also, like I said, this is a new format. I'm trusting Kyle. I have no idea what these questions are. So he's going to ask me some questions. Hopefully they're not too crazy, but I'm going to the first time you guys hear the question is the first time me hearing these questions. And then you're going to get a real raw response as far as like my answer to the question or my feedback. So it could be kind of fun actually. But anyways, we're back. I'm going to go in depth and we're going to catch up over the last year and a half. A lot of changes, health stuff, new companies, crazy amount of stuff. I think the last episode I did was actually January 25th of 25, which is right after I got my surgery on my face for my cancer, and I had a huge scar on my face. And when I look back at the content, it's crazy to see it's healed up so much since then. If you look at the last podcast, but I'm gonna just talk about it all. But we're not gonna do that today because it's gonna be in depth, and I'm gonna kind of save it and piece it up or whatnot. But today is gonna be a fun new format. Kyle has these questions. Hopefully it's nothing that I'm totally against and I get angry about. But if I do, you're going to see it live on the podcast and hear it. So, because I'm pretty raw and real, so you're going to get my real reaction. So, anyways, Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle, how long has it been since you've been here?
I left 2021. 5 years.
5 years since he left, and he's lived some life. He's had some experiences.
Fuck.
Right?
Dude, that 5 years is crazy.
Done a lot of growing. How old are you now?
About to be 28.
28. Oh, you're such a young pup. You were so young back then. I didn't even realize it. Shit.
When I met you, I don't know if you know this, but the third week into me working for you, I celebrated my 21st birthday.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's crazy.
You got so much in front of you, bro. So much time. Okay, so let's talk.
I feel like an old man.
You got a good list of questions. Kyle, I hope these are good, man. Please don't do this to me for the first episode back, you guys.
What is your favorite color?
Oh my gosh, dude.
Hey, I want you to look at this video. All right, we recorded this video way back in the day. I want you to watch it, and I want you. You are now 6 years older, a little bit different life. I want to see if you have a different perspective on the you from then versus the you from now. All right, so just watch this video for me real quick. So right here.
You have the power to change who you are. You have the power to change what you're doing. Like everything else, it's on you though. There's always room to grow. No matter how good you are, no matter where you get, there's always a better level. And as long as you feel like that and you're constantly improving yourself, you'll have that humbleness to you, and you always will continue to improve. A lot of times you guys don't want to put in the repetition to get better. And that's like with anything in life, sports, fitness, business, it's all repetitions. We all start sucking. We all start shitty at everything we do. Through repetitions, you get better as you put in the practice and you grow. You can create whatever you want and be as successful as you want to be based on your own work and what you put in. That was a good video.
This is a good video.
What was the question?
The question is, I know it's a pretty generic topic, but
yeah,
that's 6 years ago, Brian.
Yeah, that's 6 years ago. Me, the company was doing way more revenue. We've gone way downhill since then. I mean, I'm talking like 5 times the amount of revenue. But as far as that topic of that video, will always ring true. And that's one thing I've always tried when I talk about things. There's stuff that's ingrained in me at my core that's helped me be successful at different stages of life. Like that was talking about repetitions. You suck at something, you're going to suck in the beginning. That still rings true. You're going to always suck. And I tell you guys that all the time. Everyone's scared to record that video, scared to start that company, scared to do all this because they're worried they're not going to be good at it. Well, you shouldn't be good at it. You've never done it. And like I made a video recently, like I've had companies, I've been self-employed for 16 years. I've been making social media videos and posted on Instagram for 18 years. That's why I get in front of the camera. I don't give a shit. I do one take. Usually I mess up. I still post it. I don't care because that's a long time. Think about that. 18 years posting on social media, 16 years self-employed through, roller coasters up, roller coasters down. That's life. But yeah, that repetitions, you're going to suck. The more repetitions you do, the better you're going to get. Sports, life, business, fitness, everything's about repetitions, consistency, the boring, mundane consistency. Think about working out. You do the same fucking curls for fucking years straight. But that's what it takes to get fit and build some shit, you know what I'm saying? That's what it takes. But yeah, that really wasn't a question, but it kind of was, Kyle.
It's a question. It's for sure a question. Don't start dogging that.
That was kind of mid-start, but we'll see how it goes.
No, I think it's a good start because I'm asking this, right?
Did you have a plan, or is this you just rolling this off the top of your head?
I got the
okay. Oh, he's got ChatGPT and shit. It's getting crazy.
Wow, call me out. That's great.
Yeah, Dad. He's like, let me ask Baba ChatGPT. What are the questions?
This is a good one though, because this is why I showed you that video.
Okay.
You talk about 6 years ago. What did that version of Brian completely misunderstand versus your now version of Brian?
I think that version of me, was on the way up. I was realizing the most success financially I've ever had in my life at that point. I've lost in the past. I lost everything, but I never had huge financial success when I lost in the past. So when I lost everything 18 years ago, and I talk about my story and everything got repoed and I had nowhere to live and I had my first son was born and, really at a bottom point. I never had huge success, at least financially. I mean, having a family and kids, that's the ultimate success to me. I mean, it's way more important than financial success. As I get older, you chase money and you realize it really doesn't matter as long as you have your health and family, really. But what I'm getting at is that version of me, I've gone through some big L's since then. And when you're kind of like on that roller coaster on the way up towards the peak, it feels like it's never going to end. So I wish I would have invested more, diversified more, taken more opportunities back when I had more resources back then. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a short life cycle with apparel. Everyone wants a hot new brand. The brand takes off. Everyone wants to wear it. Everyone's wearing it, blows up. And then, hey, there's this new brand. Everyone looks that way and goes towards that brand. So that's my answer to that, man. Like I said, I just, a lot of the same, but like I said, back then I had never had any health issues. And like I said, when you're reaching that level of success, it's almost euphoric because you want it so long. You're dreaming of it as a kid. You got those posters of the cars on the wall, and you want to make money. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. Everyone tries to vilify it. Like, it's okay to want nice cars and nice watches and make money. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, if that's going to fuel your fire, you need something to fuel your fire, right? And like everybody, like, I feel like everybody tries to dumb down their goals and what they really want because they're worried about what people are thinking of them from the outside in. And that just dictates way too many people the way they move is, what's this person going to think? What's this person going to think? And they don't really truly show who they are, what they even want, because they're scared of what someone else is going to think. It's really sad. But yeah, that's my clearest answer to that, man. You know, it's, but I love it. It's because it's just the experience that you learn from losses is what you need to win. So it's like, I have to go through that. It's part of my story.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So,
well, I think that's helpful. The thing that I find interesting, and I'm just going to add this in for context. I've known you for a long time. The first time I re-met you again, which was like literally 2 weeks ago, I was like, dude, this guy is different.
Yeah.
You were.
Yeah.
You were, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize like how much you've changed in a positive way.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's so much, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
For sure.
Sense, you know, like you are, I want to say you're probably a little bit more humble.
Yeah.
But you have these core things that I can tell that you've picked up from the last time that you and I deeply got to talk to each other.
For sure, man.
Like,
and that's life.
No, but that's that. I think people don't see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, because I haven't been making as much content. There's
Right.
been no podcast, you know, and it's like you go through seasons of life.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm excited to start doing this again and share it with people. Because like I said, you know, at my core, I'm the same person, but you are right. I was younger. I was on my, you know, I never think I don't want to think I was ever a dick, you know, but I definitely, I see what you're saying. I mean, you go through almost losing everything again. You go through thinking you're going to die. That changes you, man. That changes you for sure. And, you know, I'm in my season of, I really want to help everyone I can. You know, back then I said I did, and I did. I thought I did. As far as I had the podcast, and honestly, I was spitting out information more generically, being real. You know, everyone was doing this kind of similar things on social media. I was kind of following some of my mentors, which is fine, right? I was still putting out, I think, positive content.
Value.
I have thousands of people that talk to me about it, thank me for it, know me from it. So it was something positive.
Yeah.
But if I'm being real, like I always try to be real to my core, it was more of, okay, entrepreneurs do this, they make podcasts, they make social medias, let's motivate, let's inspire, which I was off real experiences I went through. But now it's like, I truly, being 44 years old, you know, trying to raise my 4 kids, trying to keep a company from going under, trying to stay alive from cancer, changes you. And when I say I want to help people be their best version mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, like that's real. And not that it wasn't real before, but it was more surface level.
Yeah.
Like now I really know why I want to do it, and even more clarity on how I'm going to do it.
Talk to it. I mean, you know, you did mean it. I was there with you.
Yeah.
You meant it.
And we had a great time. I mean, yeah, like I said, but
now
you know, like I
seems
said,
it means different, something different to you now.
Yeah, it does, because, you know, and it's crazy just the amount that the world's changed in that short 5-6 years since COVID, since all this shit. Like, I feel like the world is going downhill at a faster rate than I've ever seen. And it's really scaring me because I got 4 kids raising in this. I'm going to hopefully have grandkids that I think about. They're going to come up in this world. And like, it makes me scared because I think back to the 80s and 90s and I miss those days. And I wish I was born 10, 20, 30 years ago. I think about this all the time because the way this world is becoming is not good. And that's a reflection of the masses and how they're raised and their mindset and how they move and everyone going in that direction together. So for me, trying to put out content and trying to put out information and trying to help people live a different type of way is important, because it's like the way it's going is not good, right? Is this shit broken again, Kyle?
I'm just checking.
Here we go. He's nervous.
Hold on, we got nothing.
We already had a technical difficulty. You having flashbacks to 5 years ago. Brian recorded the best podcast of his life. Brian, we didn't record anything. Fuck, bro. Some things stay the same. Some things change. Kyle. And Kyle, by the way, I noticed Kyle has matured too, but he's still the same Kyle in some ways too. By the way, which is great, because I like him for it, because it's quirky. But yeah, I'm excited to be back here spitting with you guys. We're gonna get a lot of good content. This is gonna be amazing. And like I said, I'm an open book. You know, it's just because if you're not an open book and you're not authentic to the core, I think a lot of people can see that, but you're not really steering people in the direction that you should, because if they don't really know what's behind the curtains, then it's a facade for them as well. You know what I mean? Not that it was before, because it definitely wasn't.
No.
All my shit was real. Everything I talked about was real experiences, but there was always kind of a little wall up, you know, because, you know, you always have kind of an appearance to uphold. I feel like, you know, you try, even though like I try to be realer than most people on social media, but even being real, there's still kind of an appearance to uphold. Not that I was never anything that I wasn't, but maybe a little embellished as far as like who I was trying to be, something I was trying to prove. You know, I was younger.
Hey, talk about that though, because I think that's important. Like not only you didn't lie to anybody.
No, never. Never.
There was something that you were trying to achieve, because you had just said, like, you had thought about this podcast, you thought about being real as like, this is just what entrepreneurs do. Maybe for you, it was checking a box in a sense. Right? It was,
yeah, it was. And I feel like I was one of the early adopters. So my podcast goes back 7 years, 8 years. That's a while back. I'm early on social media. 18 years ago, I was recording selfie videos in my car. I mean, I was doing it way before all these people on social media were doing it. It was cool, right? But I feel like even since I started my podcast, there's been over bursting. Everyone has a podcast. Everyone. And like kind of what we're talking about, but like ridiculous, where half these people really haven't even fucking done anything. They're just talking and regurgitating things from other people to hear themselves talk. But if you really look into it, what have you actually built? Who are you actually? What are you actually doing? And so much surface level is just shallow, because they're looking for that clout and they're looking for that podcast and that content. Whereas I think everyone should create content. Social media is amazing. As much as I hate it, and the core me wants to delete all social media, wants to go back to the 80s and 90s and live like that. Wish my kids were growing up in the 80s and 90s and no cell phone, no social media. But there is a big benefit to it. There is a lot of positives to it, as much as there's a lot of negatives to it as well. But what I'm getting at, what I was saying is, because I fucking forgot, because I'm old and Alzheimer's kicking in. But what was I saying? Fuck, it was a good point. Oh, all these people, probably half of them shouldn't have podcasts. And if they, well, let me rephrase that. They should have different podcasts talking about different things, being different people. Everyone's trying to be the same thing on podcasts, talk about the same topics. And like I said, half these people really don't have enough substance or lived enough life to even really talk about anything that's worth adding value to people. But they could, if they really would just took off those cloaks and that facade, and they just really who they were. Hey, my name is John. I drive an 87 Honda Civic. I've been struggling for the last 5 years trying to figure out what my business is. This is what I am passionate about. This is what I am good at. This is what I've lived. Like, that's the real person, not the person that rents a car or buys a car and extends themselves and goes in debt to kind of live that facade. And then they talk about all this stuff that they're wanting and wishing that they actually haven't done. You get what I'm saying? So wherever you are in your story, in your journey, whatever that is, whatever value you have to add, because we all have value. Everyone has value if you're being your core self. You've gone through some shit since you were a kid. You've gone through some experiences. You've gone through some shit that will resonate with someone. You're just scared to share that shit because you think, A, no one will be interested in it, and B, it's not cool. It's not the hip thing to do. But I promise you, it is, because that's what you need to dig down in, because you're going to build your clan. People are going to connect with you on that level, and that's it. Don't pretend like you're some baller, or you're doing this and you've done that when you don't even have a company. Or you've been in business for 6 months and you have $700 in sales. You're not an entrepreneur. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? I think it does.
I think it makes
sense. Yeah. But
it's because,
excuse me?
That hasn't changed since for a while now. People throw out, I'm an entrepreneur.
I mean,
I'm doing this,
like
right?
I said, I was on the earlier adapter of the podcast, but since then, it's like everyone and their mom has a podcast. Everyone and their mom is an entrepreneur, when most people shouldn't be entrepreneurs. This shit is not for everybody. It's not. It's the most difficult thing in the world. It's the most stressful thing in the world. It will fucking chew you out and spit you out and make you cry and make you yell and make you go bald. All the things it'll make you do. And most people can't stomach that shit. It's difficult. And you're going to fail. And you're going to fail more times than you win. So I think people they see the successful entrepreneurs, because there's a handful of successful entrepreneurs, and they have big money and they have big cars and they're successful, and that superficial shit kicks in. And human nature is we all like certain superficial things, and nothing's wrong with that. Stop vilifying it. There's nothing wrong with you wanting a fucking Lambo or a Ferrari or a 7,000 square foot beautiful house. There's nothing wrong with wanting that. It's just, how can you get to that goal? We all have different paths. You don't have to start your own business to get to that goal. You can grind your ass at a company, a startup, work your ass off, work for a corporation, be an employee, make $500,000 a year, invest your money right, and you can get a Lambo and a nice ass house. And you're not an entrepreneur because you're not built for that. But you think you need to be an entrepreneur to get that. No, you don't. You need to be smart. You need to be frugal. There's plenty of other ways to get that, right? And everyone thinks the only way is entrepreneur.
Right.
There's plenty of super successful people that are entrepreneurs.
Right.
I mean, the number 25 at fucking Apple is a billionaire or multimillionaire. You know what I mean? Like, it's a corporation, an employee. Like, you started a company. But here's the thing that doesn't waver. What you do need to do is, like this podcast is called Till You Collapse, and I'll remind you what Till You Collapse stands for. It's that mindset and that work ethic, that unnatural mindset and work ethic, where you give all of yourself every day to whatever that goal is. So whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a fucking janitor at a company, you have that Till You Collapse mindset and work ethic, where you literally go above and beyond. You're not a 9-to-5 employee that goes there and sits there and does the bare minimum and twiddles your thumb and hopes your boss doesn't tell you to do anything and just watches the clock and hopes you get through the day, and you skate by without doing any work, really. And then you run out of there. You get there at 8:59 and you run out at 4:59. And you don't ever think about it outside of those hours, and you're definitely off every weekend. That kind of work ethic in life is not going to get you anywhere great. Just know, if you're that kind of person that's living life in all aspects, because if you're living life at work like that, your relationships like that, your friendships are like that, your workouts are like that, everything's like that. So usually when you look at someone like that, which is the masses, they're average, they're unhappy, they're out of shape, they're barely paying their bills. And it's really the reason why I just said you, as opposed to the motherfucker who has that shit in their fucking soul that Till You Collapse mindset and work ethic. Like, I'm going to go above and beyond. I'm going to go the extra mile. I'm going to put the cart back. I'm going to show these motherfuckers who I am every day. I'm going to come with a good attitude. I'm going to give all my effort. I'm going to stand out. I'm going to get there 20 minutes early. I'm going to leave 20 minutes late. I'm going to think of ideas when I'm at home. I'm going to try to pick up extra work. I'm going to work on the weekends. I'm going to grind my side hustles. I'm going to work out every chance I get. And when I do that, I'm giving all of myself till I collapse. Like, I collapse because I'm fucking exhausted. Like, you should be exhausted. If you're not exhausted, if you're just going through life like, hey, like, you're never going to get anywhere great. But the problem is you want the things that require greatness. Those Lambos, those houses, that money, that fucking badass physique, that requires greatness. But you want it without the greatness. It doesn't go. You need to, they go hand in hand. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's what I think most of you guys don't realize is like, you got the millionaire's taste with the fucking minimum wage work ethic. What?
Say it again. One more time. Oh. That's a good hook. That's a good hook. That's a good hook.
You got millionaire's taste with minimum wage work ethic, and it doesn't work like that, my friends. It does not work.
We talked about the difference between how does a positive mindset versus a negatively motivated mindset. Which one works for you? Where do you think either one of those apply? And then I have a follow-up for that, because you talked to me about how the transition of TYC, you want it to be more about you and what you do with that darkness inside of you, right? So let's talk to the folks about that. I think that, because to me, I'll be honest with you, that resonates with me a lot personally. Yeah. I have some darkness too.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see the brand.
So what Kyle is talking about is TYC is going to transition to kind of what it started as, nitty gritty, raw, dark, motivational, inspirational men's apparel brand. Okay, we're starting a new women's fitness apparel brand that's very exciting. I'm going to have my co-founder on here with me. We're going to do multiple podcasts. We're going to talk to you guys all about that. It's very exciting and stuff. But as far as TYC is going back to its roots, it's going to be, like I just said, nitty gritty, dark men's brand. Really deep in the meaning behind Till You Collapse. And what Kyle's talking about, we had a conversation about, is the darkness. You know, we all have some negativity, some darkness inside of us, experiences that we've lived. And I was telling him how, you know, I'm very positive. I'm actually a positive person. I wasn't so much like crazy optimistic, but I'm very positive as far as my attitude, what I bring in the day, my you know, that kind of stuff. But I'm also, the darkness inside of me, the negative stuff, the bad experiences, the hate, the losses. And I was talking to him, you know, he's like, what drives you more, like that? And I told him, honestly, I feel like the darkness has always driven me. Because even when I started this brand, the darkness drove me, because there was so much negativity around this brand when I started, as far as like people locally and people I knew and things people were saying and things people thought. Nothing positive. It was all doubt. It was all hate. It was all negative stuff. And I kind of just sucked that all in. I said, thank you. And just took that all in and used that as fuel, as my fire. And I still do. And it's a very powerful thing. The thing I think you got to watch out with the darkness is it's the most powerful thing you can harness any kind of goals you have. Like I use it for my fitness goals. Like I'm in the shape of my life at 44 years old. I was a fat kid 31 years ago that was made fun of for my weight, that used to cry because I was made fun of for my weight, that never thought I would get a girl, never thought anyone would think I looked good. And that pain and hurt, darkness is still fucking driving me 31 years later, where I still work out 2-3 times a day. I'm so passionate about health and fitness. Yes, it's not just like, it's good to look good, and it's evolved and transitioned more of longevity and health and living a long time and being healthy. But also, I also found out a byproduct of that is you look fucking good too. So it's like they go hand in hand, right? But that's darkness that's still fucking driving me 31 years later. That's pretty powerful. And then, like I said, at the beginning of the brand, believe it or not, the sad reality I tell you guys about when you start something, you're excited about something, sometimes the closest people to you, your friends, your family, your best friends, like you get no one sharing your stuff on social media. Your best friends don't buy your whatever you're selling, but strangers, they support you. You're like, what the fuck? Like, you know, that's the sad reality of life. And that darkness in the beginning of the brand, that's what drove me. I'm like, I'm going to shove my success down these people's throat. And I did. And it took a long time. I mean, I took 4 or 5 years before I even made anything. That's a long time. Can you guys imagine working, not your little cushy 8-hour job, but working 15-hour days without making any money? How long could you work 15-hour days without making any money? I did it for almost 4 years. So that's the kind of shit people don't really talk about that it takes. You see like the upward trend and you see the things I have, but you don't know about the darkness and the trenches and the hell I went through for 4 years that would have broken most. Like I said, this shit's not for most to get to that point of it kind of taking off. And it's not necessarily 4 years. Some companies take 2, some companies it takes 10 years. But, the darkness is very powerful. You got to make sure it doesn't fully consume you, though, because I've seen some people get consumed by the darkness where it really turns them very, very into a negative person, pessimistic person, and just really, really all around. Like for me, I feel like I have a good balance. Like my darkness doesn't really come out. As far as like I said, I'm very positive. I'm in a good mood. But there is people that get so, what's the word I'm looking for, Kyle? So...
I think you had it with pessimistic.
Yeah, just so like it's like it comes out. It's who they are. They're just kind of like a dick to everyone because of what their experience is and what they've dealt with. And I get it, trust me, but I more internalize that and use that as fuel to my fire, as opposed to like it coming outward and just spilling over into everyone and everything I do, which I can see why. I mean, that could happen as well. And you know what? I'm not perfect. It does. There's times when I'm, you know, I go home a lot, not a lot, but but I go home and I'm just fired up and I have all that shit pent up in me and I've had a rough ass day. And that's one thing that I've struggled with is like separating that from home. And this is just me being real, talking about my personal life. Like it's hard when you operate at this level, trying to do what I'm doing. And you know, you have your kids just that are at home loving you, waiting for you. And then it's like you're operating at this level here, you go and it's just like, you get home and you're like on this freaking crazy high, all fired up, and it's like you need to take a step back and like take a deep breath and be like, okay, let me transition. I'm going into dad mode now. I'm not fucking, you know, this angry person that's been dealing with shit all day. They want to love me, and that's a struggle that a lot of entrepreneurs deal with, and I struggle with as well. So it's definitely a balance, but it's definitely something that, like I said, as this brand transition, we're going to talk about it. We're going to have collections about it because I think a lot of people relate to it. Like you said, you did. And it's like I said, it definitely with that whole, the fitness too. It's like, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I like the fact that you separated using it as fuel for your fire, but the distinction is you're not using it as your fire.
Yes. Yes. And that's a good point. And that's what I meant too, the people that like let it consume them.
Right.
I feel like when it consumes them, they use it as their fire.
Right.
And that's a big difference. Use the darkness as fuel for your fire, not as your fire. There's a big difference.
Good. I like that.
That's good.
No, that's a good
yeah.
piece.
Yeah.
And I want to be honest with you. I don't think you've ever talked about the negativity that you faced when you first started the brand. I've never heard that from you.
No. Like I said,
I'm glad you brought that up.
For sure.
That's important.
Yeah. And we can, like I said, and guys, this initial podcast, and this is some great content, Kyle. This is going to be great clips, especially with my nice camera you actually using. It's going to be clear, and be focused. You know what I'm saying? You see my gray beard and scar looking jiggly and shit.
I'm going to let you know I took it off autofocus.
He probably did. So I'm probably going to be blurred as fuck. Kyle be like, sorry, I thought you were focused, Brian. I can try to edit it. And then I'm going to get pissed. And then back 6 years ago, here we are again. I'm so glad me and Kyle connected again. We actually got a lot in the works. I feel like this is going to be a great partnership, me and Kyle. I appreciate you. I'm happy we reconnected.
Me too, man.
I've always loved you, man. Like I said, Kyle's always been a great kid. I'm happy. It's funny how life works, bro.
It's crazy.
You know, this guy moves and goes through relationships, trials. I'm not going to share his business, but he's lived a lot in the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm glad he has, because we all have to. Fuck, man, when I was his age, I was losing everything on the street with a baby. So I lived too. So yes, welcome to the club, buddy. So now he's realizing, right? Like, you know, I know he heard Mike when he worked here before. He heard my stories, but now he's more kind of experiencing it. And that's part of life, man. That's what we all got to go through, because he's grown. I can already tell he's grown as a person. Like he said, we both changed, I feel like, in positive ways. And those losses caused him to change in a positive way. So it had to happen, right?
No, I agree. Like I said, man, I've always had love for you too.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that this worked out.
Yeah,
the way it did,
for sure. Yeah, like I said, I don't even know how it happened, but I'm glad it did.
You slid on my DMs.
Oh yeah. I'm like, hey boo, how you doing? You want to film my ugly ass again? He's like, I don't know about that, you crazy Persian. You want every angle perfect and the lighting to be perfect and everything. I'm like, I need a lot of help, bro. I need all the help I can get.
You don't like my out of focus creativity.
Yeah, this guy just said, even his new content. I'm like, bro, what's going on? He's like, I like to do theatric, and I feel like an artist and shit. Zooming in and out, focusing in and out. I'm like, bro, just put this shit on autofocus. I don't want this zooming in and out and shit. I want people to see my boogers in HD all the time.
That's in a game, Brian.
Yeah, shit, bro. I'm like, what's going on here? He's like, oh, I do that on purpose. I'm like, you put it out of focus on purpose, Kyle? Okay. It's the first time I heard that.
It's called artistic.
He's like, it's artistic. Brian. I'm like, I just want them to see me talk.
I love it. I love it.
It's good to be back. I've really enjoyed this conversation, Kyle. Those were good questions. And honestly, it's crazy because I've shared stuff that I've never shared before. And like I said, that's just kind of the older, wiser, more evolved B. You know, I've never really given a fuck, but maybe I did kind of give a fuck, you know? So now I really don't give a fuck, honestly. But I'm so excited to be back on the podcast. I hope that you guys are excited. I really appreciate you guys sharing the show when you repost the show. Also, DM me. Like, if there's anything you want to know, if you have an idea for a podcast, something you want me to dive into, sky's the limit. I'm here to talk about it, but I'm glad Kyle's back. I'm glad the podcast is back. I really appreciate you guys, and I think we got a lot to follow up on this podcast, but we just wanted to really just tease you guys a little bit. A little teaser, you know what I'm saying? Little razzle dazzle. Yeah. Anyways, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. We're out. That was good, guys.